Matias Gustavo de Stefano Pide, that is my name, and like everything in this universe, it is not coincidence. Names are codes, seeds of consciousness, planted at the exact moment to germinate at the precise time. Matias, from the Hebrew matityahu, gift of God or gift of Yahweh, the one who was given, who arrived as a present. Gustavo, from the Germanic Gustav, staff of the gods or the one who holds divine power, the one who supports, who sustains structures. De Stefano, from the Greek Stephanos, crown or crowned, the one who carries victory, who bears the sacred circle upon his head. Bide, from Basque, path or trail, the one who walks, who traces routes. Gift of God, who holds divine power, crowned on the path. That is the code of my name, the etymological description of this I who writes, of this ego that presents itself before you. The design of the ego, and this I has a specific design, a natal chart that defines it at the moment of its arrival to this plane. Sun in Leo, the heart that radiates, the king who creates from the center. Moon in Sagittarius, the emotion that seeks horizons, the nomadic soul that needs to explore. Ascendant in Capricorn, the mask of structure, the guardian who presents as mountain. Mercury in Cancer, words that nourish like mother's milk. Venus and Mars in Leo, love and action dancing together in creative fire. Jupiter in Aries, the warrior's expansion, the teacher who conquers by teaching. Chiron in Gemini, the communicator's wound, the wounded healer who teaches through his own fracture. North Node in Aries, the pioneer's destiny, where I must walk. South Node in Libra, the diplomat's past, where I come from. Pluto in Scorpio, profound transformation, constant death and rebirth. Neptune in Capricorn, the dream that becomes structure, the mysticism that builds realities. Uranus and Saturn in Sagittarius, philosophical revolution, the breaking of dogmas to create new truths. That is the design of my ego. That is the astrological map of the character you see, the symbolism of origin. And this character was born in a place called Venado Tuerto, Venado, deer, like the Buddhist deer representing enlightenment, the sacred animal that in multiple cultures symbolizes connection with the divine, with subtle worlds, with the ability to move between dimensions. Tuerto, one-eyed, like Horus, who lost an eye in battle against Set, and whose eye became a symbol of protection and cosmic vision. Like Odin, who sacrificed an eye at Mimir's well to drink from infinite wisdom. The one-eyed deer, the one who sees with a single eye but sees beyond, who lost dual vision to gain total vision. I was born in the center of the world's granary, in the middle of cereal fields that feed continents, surrounded by lagoons that form the Southern Cross on Earth. In the palm of Santa Fe's hand, Argentina, the silver land, the land of silver that shines with lunar light. All of this builds an archetype, a symbol, a projection. The projections and archetypes from all of this, people project ideas, expectations, judgments. For some, I'm a spiritual communicator, a guide, a teacher. For others, I'm a rememberer of the planetary network, of the universe, of dimensions. Perhaps for some, a prophet bringing messages from the future. For others, a smoke seller, inventing stories to gain followers. Some see me as an enlightened one who has awakened to cosmic truths. Others as a dark one manipulating consciousnesses, a sage, a charlatan, a pure channel, an inflated ego, an altruistic servant, a spiritual narcissist, a healer, a danger. And here is what's interesting, what I want you to understand from the beginning of this game. All of that, the bad and the good, is true and at the same time false. The deception and truth of the mind. Because in the world of the mind, everything you see, hear, feel, has a sensory foundation that the brain translates as real even when it isn't. Neuroscience shows us that the brain doesn't distinguish between a real experience and one imagined with sufficient intensity. When you vividly visualize something, the same brain areas activate as if you were physically experiencing it. The mind constructs reality from sensory fragments, filling the gaps with expectations, memories, prior beliefs. What you see of me is not me. It is your brain's interpretation of the stimuli it receives, filtered through your experiences, your traumas, your desires, your fears. But what I see of myself goes through the same judgment. Psychologically, this is known as projection. Carl Jung explained it masterfully. What we see in others, especially what provokes intense emotional reaction in us, is often a reflection of unintegrated aspects of ourselves. If you see me as enlightened, you're projecting your longing for enlightenment. If you see me as a charlatan, you're projecting your fear of being deceived or perhaps your own shadow of deceiving. The mind deceives us at the same time it informs us. It gives us an edited version of reality, not reality itself. And that version is your truth according to your perception. It's not a lie to you. It's your experiential reality. The mirror without justification. That's why I am willing to be a mirror for all of it, without trying to explain or justify myself. I will be darkness and light. In this alchemy, I will be ego and essence. I will be everything. In shadow and in illumination, in the divine and the diabolic. I will be a smoke seller or a saint, a depraved one or a servant, a narcissist or an altruist, a sage or an ignorant one, a clean channel or a disguised ego. I will be all the possibilities that Matthias can be for people, because in the world and game of the mind, I will be willing to enter the network in whatever form. I won't idealize myself, but I won't demonize myself either. I will play the mental game of lights and shadows, of dualities, because that is the board where the game of consciousness is played. If necessary, I will be the poison so you can create your medicine. I will be the mirror that reflects what you need to see, not what you want to see. The game of codes. Because in the game of the mind, everything is received in the way our brain is capable of receiving, and therefore, much of what we will live together in the adventure to come will not be about reaching explanations or substantiating truths, but about generating codes, opening questions, breaking expectations. Hermes told me we must play the game of the mind by going forward, walking backward, using the nonsense of not knowing to recalibrate the sense of knowing. Like two eyes trying to focus depth, like two ears calibrating the origin of sound, we need contrast, apparent contradiction, dialectical movement to find balance and perspective. The question then is, are we all willing to be the same thing for each other? To accept that we are mutual projections, mirrors reflecting infinitely. The board of mentalism. Using mentalism as the basis of the consciousness game board makes us inevitable pieces in this complex chess of light and shadow. It leads us to confront ourselves projected in others and to be projections of others upon themselves. Because here's the key we must understand before continuing. The mind is not in the brain. The brain is a processor, an antenna, a receiver of the infinite mind that inhabits everything. And everything is one. The brain has approximately 86 billion neurons, each connected to up to 10,000 other neurons, creating a network of 860 trillion connections. But that network doesn't generate consciousness, it processes it. Consciousness, the universal mind, flows through the brain like electricity flows through a circuit. The circuit doesn't create electricity, it conducts it, modulates it, transforms it into function. Therefore, in the path of alchemy we will travel together, the games of the mind, the codes, the adventures, the missions with apparent nonsense, the actions, stories, ideas, projects, words, music, and anything that happens, cannot be seen or analyzed from immediate sense, but taken as codes in an infinite labyrinth. If we try to understand every step from the beginning, we will ruin the entire game. It would be like trying to solve a labyrinth, looking only at the next step, without seeing that the path that seems wrong leads you to the exit through an unexpected route. The alchemist of the game. I put myself at the service of this alchemical game of the mind. And therefore, sometimes I will transform, do unexpected things, perhaps disappear. Perhaps do things that seem selfish, or senseless things, or acts of pure altruism, moments of apparent enlightenment, deep channelings, absurd games, grandiose or ridiculous projects. Everything you see and follow of this Mati, of this eye that observes and narrates, don't try to understand it in the moment, but do take note, because many of the senseless things will make sense in another phase of the game, at another level of the infinite labyrinth. A piece that seems useless on the board now may be the key to checkmate 3 moves later. A code that seems absurd today may be the key that opens a door months later. The rules of the game. Welcome to the game of the mind. But like every game, this one has rules, and we will reveal them along the way in the coming days, weeks, months. The rules aren't all given at the beginning, because part of the game is discovering them, learning by playing. falling and getting up, understanding why you fell. First rule, revealed today. Don't try to understand every movement in the moment. Take note, observe, feel, but don't judge or conclude prematurely. Second rule, you are players, not spectators. What you do with the information, with the codes, with the stories, is part of the game. Your reaction, your projection, your transformation, all counts. Third rule, the board is mental, but the game is real. What happens in the mind manifests in matter. The codes we process together create reality. The other rules will be revealed as we advance, because a game without mystery is a boring game, and the mind loves mystery, feeds on enigma, grows in uncertainty. The final invitation. So the questions I launch to the universe, to all who read this are you ready to play? Can you release the need to understand and simply experience? Do you dare to be mirrors without defending yourselves from what you reflect? Do you accept that I will be for you what you need to see, light or darkness, truth or lie, medicine or poison? Can you walk forward looking backward, using not knowing as compass? Because this is what we will do. This is the game to which I invite you. A mental, alchemical, transformative game. A labyrinth, where each person finds what they need to find, not what they seek. I am Matthias Gustavo de Stefano Bede, the gift of God who holds divine power, crowned on the path, the one-eyed deer born in the granary of the world, the one with 1,000 faces, because he is the mirror of 1,000 gazes. And I am here, willing to be all the versions of me that you need me to be, so that in that reflection, you find all the versions of yourselves that you need to integrate. Welcome to the game of the mind. The game has begun.